you remember at the start when she pops out of her thing and the guy comes out and he's like, "Why'd I fall on you?" That's the first thing he says.
That was my favorite part.
And like, I understand that it was gravity, but like, if I'm a captain, I'm like, okay, either gravity's on or like I'm on a planet. And then she's explaining what's going on, and he's like, "Why'd I fall? Why'd I fall at all?"
I was just like, what?
Hi guys, I'm Jess.
I'm Sinead.
I'm Adam.
I'm Cassie.
And we're
The
Movie Rats.
The show where a bunch of crackhead film students talk about films.
Warning, this podcast contains goblins, ghouls, and...
Wait, what did you say about Vin Diesel? Welcome to the Movie Rats.
Oh my god, wouldn't it be so funny if we recorded an anniversary episode of the podcast? Don't you guys think that'd be so smart?
That would be awful. Why would we do that? Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Hey guys, it's the 1 year anniversary of the Movie Rats.
Yay!
So it's been a while since we've seen / talked to our audience. I have new hair. I have a different hair color, you guys. The last time we recorded, I had blue hair.
And the first time we recorded, COVID didn't exist.
Are you telling me?
I remember
Are you
when
telling
Adam
me
made a joke about it.
20? Oh shit! Fucking forgot about that. Oh no. I was like, that's gonna age well, right? And then
And then immediately didn't age well.
Much like the rest of this podcast.
It didn't even have to age before it didn't age well.
2 months later, full lockdown.
All right, well, welcome back to the Movie Rats.
Dad?
We have...
Mom, I'm recording.
Dad.
All right, so we have a special episode planned for our 1 year anniversary. We decided to do what we do best, just tear apart a bad movie.
Wait, bad movie? Hold on, I suggested the...
Wait, did no one tell Adam?
I was waiting.
The masterpiece. Hold on.
Well, on Letterboxd,
Okay.
it did get a 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 in the top comments.
That's the
I don't
thing.
get it.
I think this is one of those movies that so many people agree is a bad is good movie. Do you know what I
Fair
mean?
enough. You know what?
But there
That's
are
fair.
also a lot of people in sci-fi who unironically love the movie.
Do you
Because
want
I've
it?
seen their comments.
All right,
seen
bold
it.
choice.
Yeah,
All right, wait,
but
hold up.
Listen,
Drum roll. Someone do a drum roll.
Oh, no, we need the explosions. Adam, do it in your man voice.
wait, what? As opposed to my normal voice?
Yeah, like do it in like a movie voice.
Pitch black. Was that
Oh my
good?
god, explosions.
That sounded like you said bitch black.
Bitch.
Say it again.
So Pitch Black
I have to
is
get- I
the
have to
movie
get it
we
ready.
will be reviewing.
It's the best
Alright.
movie ever made. I think it was
Pitch
robbed at the
Black.
Oscars.
Y'all, I don't... all right,
No,
I have a lot to
no.
say about it, but I'm
I
excited for this review.
2 points. And,
Mhm.
and then I can shut up.
Just wanted
All right,
to
well,
say
real
what it's
quick
about.
before we start, let's give it a little bit of the info for it. I don't
I
have any
forgot
fun
we did
facts. I'm
this.
going to do my research on it. I didn't do it for this one because this one's not a real
What do you mean,
episode
not a
or
real?
anything. It's just a special.
There's a lot of shitting on a movie right now that I love.
All right.
We're not shitting
So
on it, we're just discussing.
So it's written by Jim Wheat and Ken Wheat. I assume
Didn't
they're
you-
brothers.
The Wheats, the cereal boys.
And it is directed by David Twohy. I believe that's how you say his last
Not
name.
David Woney.
No.
These
They got
three
him for the prequel.
all work
though.
together frequently on all of the Chronicles of Riddick series, I guess is what you
What?
It's
might
good to
call
see
them.
the team keep together. Right.
And the movie stars the one and only Vin Diesel.
Woo!
So actually,
I
I
love-
think we should tell a little bit of the story about how we decided on this movie real quick, because we did have a discussion about another movie.
We had
Oh.
many a movie.
Well, that's true. We
So
did have
what
a
we
discussion about-
decided
yes.
was we thought Vin Diesel was in it. Adam suggested the movie, and we're like, and he's like, Vin Diesel's in it. We're like, great. We mentioned Vin Diesel's new song recently.
Oh my
There we
god,
go.
I forgot
3
about
weeks
that.
ago.
Well, so because we were originally so what the first suggestion that we had that we seriously considered was Jack and Jill. So unfortunately, that is something that we are not delivering yet.
No, I know, guys.
So we'll see if that
There's
ever
so much
comes
to
out.
say on it.
I feel like that's gonna be like a thing that just like we'll always say that it'll come out and then it won't ever come out. So
I seen Jack
Don't
and
say
Jill in
that.
cinema. How?
Adam Sandler's gay
wait, what?
because he's not ever gonna come out.
Oh,
Okay,
I
anyway,
was like,
moving
what?
on.
Is like that like a recent like news? Anyway,
Why are you?
Yeah, I
why
thought
are
you were
so
like-
mean
I thought you were
I
like
thought you were on
giving us
Google,
news.
being
Yeah,
like,
I was
God,
like,
I forgot this is a serious news podcast and not a comedy movie podcast.
Did he just do a Philip Schofield? Sorry.
Just
Alright.
saying, Adam Sandler gay. Next point.
Okay, all right, let's get back on track. So, I have a lot of points for this.
Well, I say my one big point, and I think you all will agree.
Mhm.
I think so.
The color grading when they're outside is so hard.
In
It's so hard
fairness,
to
I think it
see.
was a style choice. Like, I don't think it was
It's
like,
so
oh yeah,
hard to
this is what we're gonna
see.
do. Like,
It
I think
had
it was.
to be.
Yeah, like I don't think
Unless,
that was like
right?
this is what looks good and realistic.
But
Oh, wait,
unless,
Adam.
hear me out, okay? They had Imagine, right? You're in a world. You have a limited days to shoot. I have no idea about the production of a movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for
Mhm.
one whole day, you're like, "Fuck, man, we didn't white balance." and then for another day, you're like, "Shit, I mean, this is really oversaturated, but we don't have a lot of time." And then you're like, "Style choice, babies."
In
And then you
contradiction
just
to that,
run with it for
imagine
the
if
rest
the
of the
editor was
fucking
just
movie.
colorblind.
Yeah. One of the things
And
I
Can
really
you, can
don't.
you be an editor? Well, at least like a grading editor.
I don't know what
They
that's
just
like.
didn't want to
Everyone
tell
sits
him.
down to everyone sits down to watch it, and then it starts, and they all just look at him, and he's like, "Yeah, it looks fine."
He's the executive producer's stepson.
What if it's like
And
a
he's
full
like,
on
"This
like
is good."
Winston from New Girl moment where he doesn't know he's colorblind and he totally thinks he's doing it correctly?
That's
and
what I
everyone's just like,
mean.
what are you talking about? And he's just like, right? Like
I-
these
I
green
feel
shoes
like
are brown.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot to do a quick summary of the
That
plot.
would be
Adam,
fun.
do you want to give
Okay.
a quick summary of the plot? Because I feel like not many people have watched
Adam,
this movie.
yeah, take it away.
It's your movie,
A
Adam.
quick summary of the plot. There is no plot. I mean, well, there's a plane. Or there's
plane?
a spaceship. Yeah, well, look, here's the
Damn,
problem.
plane's
Look,
going high now.
I'll get into that, okay? There's a spaceship, okay? On
yeah.
this spaceship is a load of normal people, but also for some reason on this normal transport ship, there's a prison section. So in the prison cryo sleep tube is our one and only Vin Diesel, who's being transported by a bounty hunter who pretends to be a cop. So the spaceship crash lands on this planet, and then they're like, well, we gotta get off the planet. And will I say what? I mean, the rest of the story? So after they crash land, they're like, we have to get off the planet. Oh no, Riddick escaped. Sorry, that's Vin Diesel, by the way. By the way, his name is Dick Riddick. So his name is Richard Riddick. So,
Do they call him Dick Riddick in any of the like later films?
I don't know. I haven't watched them.
What? You're like just going off like this film is a masterpiece and you haven't
Yeah.
seen the sequels?
Well, I mean,
Big
the sequels.
fan!
Excuse me, the sequels rarely live up to the original. I just didn't want to
But
disappoint
Gremlins,
myself. You know what I
Gremlins
mean?
2 new batch really lived
Yeah,
up to
I mean,
Okay,
exception to the rule. So anyway.
Continue. So Riddick gets out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then this guy's like, man, Riddick's the most dangerous criminal ever. And then Riddick kills nobody. And then and is even like kind of chill. There's that one point where a character comes up and is like a random person who's like, you guys survived the crash too, and then gets immediately shot.
Oh, I
from
know. Oh my
behind.
God. What
No, but
the
Yeah.
fuck?
let
And
me
then
let me talk.
it
Let me say my
zooms.
point about.
Sorry, go on, yeah.
But I said he looked like your man from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's
Dave
grey and
Bautista.
red.
Also, he's not grey and red. He's green and red. Okay, Miss. He's
He is
colorblind.
grey.
He's grey.
Okay.
He's 100%.
One of
So
y'all.
Gamora's
anyway,
green.
continue with the summary.
So anyway-
Adam. Wrap it up. You're taking forever. Jeez, it's supposed to be a summary.
So anyway, the guy whose only personality trait is that he's Australian shoots the random civilian and then goes, crikey, I thought it was Riddick. And then it zooms behind him to Riddick sitting on a lawn chair,
Yeah.
drinking, being like, like, it's so, he's like
It's
a
so
fucking
stupid.
Looney Tunes character.
Okay, so anyway, they find out you
Yeah,
have
they
taken
find out
like the whole
the
point of the movie
planet.
you haven't gotten to.
Yeah, okay. So they find out, oh no, there's creatures on the planet and they're very dangerous, but they don't like the sunlight except for the ones in that one scene. And then, and oh no, on this planet, it turns out every 22 years, which is now, the planet is plunged into months of darkness because of the eclipse. And so we need to get out of the planet as soon as possible.
Oh, okay.
Because all the creatures come out in the dark.
Well, so all right.
Mhm.
I have like a lot of points. They're all really short
Me too.
points. They're just like little comments that I had while watching that I decided to take
Here we
down.
go.
So let's start at the beginning. We'll
Mhm.
go chronologically so
The
we can try and
crash?
get everything. So no. The
Mhm.
beginning is when they're all still in cryosleep.
No, beginning
And
is
Vin
Animal
Diesel's
Brain.
got his little monologue in the beginning.
Monologue.
The best
yeah.
line of the movie, dare I say.
Also, in my opinion, I just want to say the ship is shaped like a penis. Is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
Excuse me.
I didn't
excuse
realise.
me. This film is riddled with phallic symbolism.
Is it?
So, here's the cool thing about Riddick and how he's like so scary and like cool is that like some people, you know, everybody has like part of an animal brain, and they say when you're in cryo sleep, the only part of your brain that doesn't sleep is the animal part. And he's like, that must be why I'm fully awake, because he's all animal brain.
He's a
Okay,
beast.
he's a beast of a man.
They say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep. All but the primitive side. The animal side. No wonder I'm still awake.
It was so stupid. Also, can I just say, like, this is one thing that, like, I kind of just decided on later on, because I was just like, oh, okay, it'll go into this a little bit more. No, that was it. That was the entire backstory of Vin Diesel. Nothing else.
He goes
I don't
No,
get him. I
he
don't
was in-
understand.
Hold on.
Dialogue.
What do you mean? Don't you know what he did to get
Okay.
eyes like that?
That was it,
Yeah,
though.
that's-
no,
no,
but
I
like,
need to talk about
that
that
was
one.
it. Like,
Silly.
I don't get his story. What's his motivation? Why did he kill all those people? Is he like a
get
psychopath?
the
Like,
eyes.
what's
No,
the
to get
fucking
the
point?
eyes.
He's
To
he's
get
a
the
former
eyes.
he's a former ex-leader of a like intergalactic murderous
Barbs.
religious zealots.
But like,
Yeah.
I just
Except he is just not murderous for some reason. But the whole movie, it's talking about how dangerous
yeah,
Riddick
and he
is,
doesn't do
and he doesn't
anything.
kill anyone.
He's not like
Wait, I thought you
the
killed
other
your
murderous
man.
barbs.
He barely kills like.
He
One of the
killed the
creatures.
guy who suggested
but he-
killing a child.
He didn't kill him though. He let the things kill him.
Mm.
He
Also,
didn't even
how
personally kill him.
Mhm.
He's right.
How stupid is it that that guy didn't come back? By the way,
Yeah,
we
that
didn't
was
see
dumb.
it. Well, we kind of didn't see him die. Do you know what I mean?
Well, also,
And I was like,
just
oh,
kind
he's
of
gonna
like, I
come
feel
back
like,
and be like, oh, stop them from getting away.
I
But
feel like
instead,
that
it's
was
like
also,
we left them in the rock. Go back, get from the rock. Now, woman die.
But I feel like that was also anticlimactic. The fact that they killed him off so early, and I was just like, well, I'm glad he's not gonna have any
Early-
like
Wait,
anything to
I
do
thought,
with the climax.
do you want to see
Fucking
what
hour and a
I
half
thought
in.
he looks like? I thought he looked like a
a 4-hour
really,
movie.
I really
What's
want.
up?
a really bad lookalike of Paul Newman.
Wait.
For a second there, I
What?
thought about Randy Newman.
Paul Newman, the old Hollywood actor who
Going
makes
down
Newman
the
cookies.
planet.
So,
Yeah.
That's good
Paul
stuff.
Yeah.
Newman and
Dave
Dave Bautista
Bautista.
are actually
He does kind of look like
extras
him.
on.
All right.
I want a
Mm.
movie where they're having their
Well,
own
so-
adventure after the plane crash.
So, other than the fact that, like, in the beginning, when, like, you know, the windows just shatter and she totally survives that because that's completely, like,
I love that
logical.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. She should be
not
so
a scratch.
dead. She should be absolutely violated. Like they were in upper atmosphere,
Exactly. Like,
going through like there'd be like almost
the
zero
burning
oxygen. Yeah.
oxygen. That's
They were-
like.
They were
But no.
in the ship. They were crashing at a cool
And
30
then all
miles
of these
per
like
hour.
little pieces of glass like throw back past her, and she
Yeah.
gets out without a scratch.
She
Like
would've
not
been-
even little.
Yeah, but not even the glass. She would have been scorched. Like, she would have been absolutely burned to
Like-
pieces.
We are now cruising
Like,
at
I know
crashing
that,
2 miles per hour.
I know
Please
that
avoid the glass.
a lot of like science fiction and a lot of like, you know, out of reality movies are very much like suspension of disbelief. But y'all.
But here's
This
the thing.
is
Alright, I take issue with that point, okay? I think even in shitty ways
It
sometimes,
still needs to make sense.
sci-fi movies try to explain things
Exactly,
a
like
bit,
physically and
right?
logically, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the whole point of... Like, I think that's what defines for me sci-fi, you know, science fiction.
Well,
Because
like,
it's kind of like, yeah, we've got a bit of
Oh
science.
my god, I never knew sci-fi meant science fiction.
well, no, because like, wait, really?
No,
What?
Both of them?
no, we're joking.
Okay.
Oh my god, you guys. Anyway, but no, I think because that's why I think that Interstellar did so well too, and like because people weren't questioning the science of it because they got
Well,
actual scientists to like try and
Photographer
explain
just
things that
revealed-
In
happen.
fairness, Interstellar, one of its main draws was that it was
It was
trying to be
scientific.
really scientifically accurate.
Okay, regardless.
Anyway,
That
So-
movie's too
So,
good to talk about here.
Aside from all of that,
hmm
I genuinely felt like I was having a seizure the entire beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the shaky
Yeah.
cam, the like
what
quick
about when it
cuts.
stretches?
Oh my god, that was.
I told you, this movie does shit with the camera for no reason. Like, there's no reason. But for
Alright.
some reason, there's one scene where it cuts to her in the ship, she's like this, and her face is just elongated. Like, and then there's
Was it
another
bad
one
that I just
where
didn't
it's
notice
like,
that?
if you accidentally drag a corner of an image in like a Word document and it gets like,
And it's like all warped.
warped.
yeah, like that's what they did. I don't know why,
Well-
but that's what they did.
Okay, so the first quotable line that like there's so
Every
many
line's
lines.
quotable,
Okay,
but
so
yes.
it's
His second
so
monologue?
the first one that I took down because I took down every single line that I was like, really? That was.
Did
in
you
the
take down the
script?
racist one at the
So,
start?
I
Oh.
heard.
Oh, no.
No, what was that?
There's one part where Vin Diesel was like, my animal brain stayed awake. I smell an Arab. And I was like, what? Yeah, the
Okay.
start of the movie.
All right.
And then he's like,
Ooh.
and a woman and a guy with a gun on his belt or some shit, or tools or
So
some
no, the
bullshit.
the first line that I remember was when Vin Diesel first attacks, like, you know, what is it, the cop guy or like the bounty hunter guy, and he was just like,
Mhm.
someone's gonna get hurt one of these days, and it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Me when I wear my helmet on my bike.
That was like one of those like
Excuse me.
that was like one of
Cass.
those like lame like FBI drama like
Ken-
sayings
Hold on.
when they like catch the like thief and they say something
Well-
really stupid.
Clearly, you know nothing about film because that was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Okay, because really it was him who got hurt.
Yeah.
So get yourself a little bit more learned, please. We might as well talk about how now we kind of get introduced to all our characters who are in the shipwreck.
I don't care
right?
about them.
Who most of them have no personality outside their
Exactly.
nationality. So, like, one of them's English, one of them's Australian,
Australian.
and then there's the lady Australian. I
And
think.
then there's the
No, she was
four-
English.
And then there's
Was
the
she?
four
I can't remember.
Muslims. And then there's
Yeah, who say Allahu Akbar a lot, even when situations where I'm like, would you say that? Would you say God is
I
good
don't
when you
know,
found
'cause I
a
don't
giant
know
pile of
much
bones?
about Islam, but
Yeah, but I feel like the way they were doing it was like the guy who wrote it was like, I don't know, they're
Muslims,
Muslim.
Yeah, like, he
what
was
did
being
they say
super
a lot?
Stereotypical.
Yeah,
like,
do you
real
know, that's how I
racist.
feel. That's it, like when I was watching it, especially after the Arab comment at the start. I want to make sure I got that quoted right, because if I didn't, ugh. But it's like fucking hell. Like then all they say is Allahu Akbar. Like I know they chant some other stuff, but it felt like somebody who wrote it was like, yeah, they chant all the time, and then what you always hear them say is Allahu Akbar. But like, I'm trying to shift the narrative away from like a bad thing about that. It's like, what, bro? Yeah, anyway, I'm just saying, like, they gave them no personality outside of that,
Yeah.
which is like, why? And then, of course, there's the English guy who for some reason is talking about how well traveled he is with all his artifacts and all, but in a sci-fi universe all of them came from Earth, and all he wanted to do was visit France, and he hasn't done that, and yet he's in a fucking spaceship.
Right? France over outer space.
Yeah, right. But and then you've got, so I think that's everybody.
Okay.
Oh, you've got the other character, okay?
But
Paul
the
Newman.
young character. Okay.
oh, the kid who, by the way,
Yes.
I thought like from the beginning was like, oh, the little girl, and then they're like,
yeah.
it was like a boy, and I was like,
Yeah.
is she not
Yeah.
a girl? And then they're
There's a
like,
whole-
it's a girl, and I'm like, where
Hold
is
on,
that not
there's-
clear?
Whole part. I forgot this is the reason why we
Right?
decided
And
to watch
it was
this
like,
movie.
yeah, and it's a plot point for some reason. But anyway,
No. I can't.
Because she's on her
Oh, yeah.
period.
What point? The period?
yeah, well,
It's because she's on her period.
yeah, right. And then the animals smell blood, because you know the way women attract bears when they're on their periods. Do you know what I mean?
And sharks
That's
in the water.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's obviously, like, this just proves to me the kind of person who wrote this, you know what I
It was
mean?
a dude.
But, like, I loved it, because I was rewatching it, obviously, I was like, is there any point where she either purposely says she's a boy or clarifies why she did it, right?
No.
And there's only 2 points I remember. There's points where other people go, this boy, and she's like,
Yes, me. That's me.
That's me,
Right.
boy.
and then when they find out,
I am
she
boy.
like starts like crying a little bit, and she goes, I just thought people would leave me alone if I'm a boy. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that,
Tea.
right?
But
at
what,
the
it's
same,
like,
but at the same time, it's like everything was kind of okay. But I was hoping for some kind of like
actual,
yeah,
like kind of
Like,
like in like Game
I'm
of
trying to
Thrones where
survive
Arya
in this
tries
place.
to be a boy. Like you need
Right?
some sort of reason.
exactly
wanted
right.
to be.
And then the really when I was
Fair,
trying to figure
honestly.
out, but they should have made more of a
Yeah.
point of it. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
they didn't make any
Where
points in this movie.
maybe
There were
she had
0
some-
points
yeah,
that
yeah.
they made in this.
But like maybe she had some kind of backstory where she's
Okay.
like, "Oh, being a
Okay.
woman right now is not good." I mean,
So now
it isn't
we've been
right now, but in
introduced
the
to all the
future as well.
characters. So
Oh,
now,
but hold on. One
Okay.
point that I
Where are
have,
we going?
oh my
I
god,
found out. Yeah,
These
but
are
I
sort of
like I
heroes.
said, I was
What?
specifically looking for a point where she's
Okay.
like, "Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a dude, right?" And the part where I found it is after they crash, right? And
Yeah.
they realize that your one, what's her name, saved them. Well, you know, kind of saved them. Fry, okay. She goes, "Thanks for saving our dicks." That's the only point in the movie.
I literally thought it was a girl even at that point because I was just like, she's just like a vulgar
But
young
when you
teen.
realize that she's pretending to be a boy, she's like, "We all have dicks, right? Us boys."
All right, okay. So we've been
I'm just
introduced to
sitting
all
here
of the characters,
with my penis.
and yet again, Vin Diesel plays Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
No,
He's like, I can't take him
I
seriously.
think this is him being serious. I don't think it was Vin Diesel. I believed it was an action man.
No,
This
it's
is
like
Dick
Vin Diesel
Riddick.
playing Vin
I
Diesel
didn't
in
even
Fast
see-
and Furious.
Vin Diesel dissolved, and all that remained was Dick Riddick.
Yeah, I felt
Well,
that.
no, I can't ever take Vin Diesel seriously. Like anytime he's playing a serious role, like I can take him seriously in Pacifier because that's like a cute little comedy. I can't take him seriously in
But
any
here's the
serious
thing:
role.
Vin Diesel started by writing and
How
directing
did
his
you
own
choose
short
that?
film that I've been told is actually
Wow.
good.
Oh.
Really?
Steven Spielberg saw it and then
Oh.
put him in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
right. So at
Vin
one
Diesel.
point there, Vin Diesel must
some
have been
potential.
really good. But regardless, he's very successful.
He is good. Have
And
you
we
seen
do
him
love him.
in
We
Guardians
do
of the
love him.
Galaxies? He is Groot. Can we not talk about his monologue?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on. Talk.
oh
about his
yeah.
second
Okay, go
monologue.
for it.
Well, the kid was like, "Oh, how did you get eyes like that?" And he goes on this big massive. First, he goes like, "I can't remember the monologue." I'll be
No, but
honest."
first he's like, I murdered people, and she's
So-
like, I can do that.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, no problem." Okay, yeah. So the girl pops in after Riddick's done doing his little jump scare on Fry, where he gets up and is like, "Rrr." The kid comes in and goes, "Whoa, what do I gotta do to get eyes like that?" And he goes, "You gotta kill a bunch of people." And then she's like, "Oh, I can do that." And then the Fry's like, "Maybe we should get you away from him." And then he's like, "And then you gotta go to maximum security prison where there ain't no light, and then you gotta find a prison doctor, and he gotta shine your eyes up real bright." And then she's like, oh, so people can't sneak up on you in the dark. And he's like, exactly.
See, that was like the only backstory, like explanation that the
That's
movie
it.
provided too, because it was, and
Yeah,
that was the
but
way
that's-
they.
Why did it
explained
sound like a poem?
Well, if you check,
Shine your
because
eyes up real
the
bright.
dialogue in this movie is perfect. So
Flawless.
oh, there's one of my favorite lines is later in the movie. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's one that I quote with some of my friends when we're playing stuff.
So Sinead,
hopefully I'll
about this
remember that when we
monologue.
get to it. Mhm.
How do you feel about the monologue?
You want to talk about it?
Oh, it was just like, I thought it was so funny. He has so many dramatic pauses.
I know.
Mhm.
So
It's because it's Vin Diesel. The way he delivers every line is always so dramatic.
He's so breathy.
Because he was like, you gotta kill a few people. Then
The way she's just like, yeah, I can do that. All right. So,
Then make sure.
so
make
in
sure
this
your eyes are
during
shown
this
in the shot.
monologue, by the way, it's important to note that he's like chained up, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So, first of all, I wanted to, at this point, it was where I was just like, this is the dumbest fucking premise. Like, it was almost like a decent generic alien movie, but they made it, like, they really worked hard to make it stupid.
And
I
that's
love the way
okay.
Like,
he gets free and then they catch him and then he gets free again and then
They
they catch
catch
him.
Why is he a convict? Like, how did that serve the story at all?
Right, exactly. That's one of the main issues I have with this is that he's just
Like, he could have just been a
He's
cool badass.
supposed to be right. He's supposed to be the most dangerous man.
And he
Like
doesn't
they
kill
keep
anyone.
saying how like that one guy is like, yeah, if we let him go, we have to catch him. Everybody's like, why do we have to catch him? Like, why the fuck do we care what happens to him? And he's like, if we don't catch him, he's gonna kill us.
Yeah,
all in
and I
our
was-
sleep.
well, 'cause that
He's
was-
fucking
before I knew-
ruthless."
So before, because I
And
didn't
then she's
look
just
up what
chilling.
this movie was about, and I wasn't like really listening to Adam when he
Hmm.
told us what it was about. So like when I started watching the movie, I remember you saying something about
That's
like
new.
the animal side, and I was like, oh, so like he's like animalistic or something. Like he's gonna be the antagonistic force of the movie. And then he starts like chilling
Mhm.
and talking, and like nothing happens, and I'm just like,
Yep.
oh, so he's not. And then I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, creatures. So why is he a murderer? Like that was
So-
my thought process.
Yeah, well, like, so if you venture on, you don't actually have to watch the other movies. You simply venture onto the Chronicles of Riddick wiki, and on there it explains
look it
how
up.
he used to be a part of the Necro somethings.
necromancy.
And-
Necrophilia.
Yeah, right. And they just have some sort of philosophy where it's join our religion or you have to die. So he used to be a guy in them, but when they made this movie, I don't
Trust
think they
Adam
had
to
that
get really
planned.
into the lore.
After
Right.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Of the Chronicles of
Okay.
Riddick, right? But
So
the thing is, it's like I think the reason that this happened is because they were like, like I don't want to blame Vin Diesel, but it's funnier if I do. So I like to imagine that Vin Diesel is like, I have to play the coolest character, right? And they're
It's in
like,
his
well,
contract.
what if we make him like a criminal? And he's like, yeah, but like let's not make him like murder a bunch of people. Like people have to like look at him and go, yeah, he's cool, you know. So let's just have him like be real dangerous. And they're like, well, how do we know he's like
'cause
real
of the goggles.
dangerous? And they're like,
goggles.
well, because oh man, I want some of those sweet goggles. But like,
They look like
he's like,
straight up
how do we know
swimming
he's
goggles.
dangerous? I was like, I know. We'll get a load of characters to say he's really dangerous.
There was so
Right?
much foreshadowing, zero payoff. That's like
Mm-hmm.
the number one rule in screenwriting. You have to have payoff.
You know what they say? Tell, don't show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's the
right,
same.
guys?
All right.
Mhm.
So anyway, I do want to make a point because at this point I was just like, you know what? The editing in this movie is atrocious. Like it's one of the worst editing jobs I've ever seen. It was so choppy. The pacing was so bad. I was so confused. Half the time they were moving between like scenes and like time, like, you know, jumping.
Mhm.
And like, I was so confused half the time. And like, especially during any like action shot. The editing was
Yeah.
just all over the place.
And,
And there were so many jump
Mm.
cuts and all that, like the running when that one Australian girl's like running, and it was like, I get that that's a choice, but like it wasn't done well.
It's not a good choice.
Like there's some
Yeah.
movies where that works well, but like it wasn't
But-
done well along with like the score and
Mhm.
everything. It was just
Holy shit, I just got it. I just got why randomly they have it's like a really cold light but then a really warm light in another scene.
Yeah.
It's because it's one of the other suns.
Yeah.
I just
I
got
thought that was like, yeah. It was
oh,
the red sun and
okay,
the
I
blue sun.
guess Dan, maybe I'm dumb, okay?
But
Maybe
yeah,
I'm too,
I mean, that
maybe I'm
doesn't
not
excuse
smart
the
enough
bad
to
color
fully
grading.
appreciate
That doesn't
Riddick.
excuse the bad color
Yeah.
grading. But anyway,
Oh, that reminds me. Sorry, no, just
What?
this really quick point, because one of my favorite things in this whole movie is the amount of time somebody goes like, "You gotta see this," or "Look," and then they turn and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like at the very start, after
do that
they were like, "We're gonna look for survivors," but look, and then everybody turns,
that
and it's like, "Yeah, there was a crash. We were in the crash." What the fuck are you
wow.
talking about?
No, but
Yeah,
that
and then the other
compositing
part-
though.
Yeah, and then the
with
other
the
part
like
where he's
suns.
like, "You gotta see this," and then they turn and it's like, "Yeah, there's a sun." Oh, another
And
sun.
then the other-
Oh, are you?
that-
do you
that
want
was
me to
some
believe
straight up
that
harsh
this
compositing.
character ran so far that he could see the sun before it rose for us, like beyond the horizon, and then came all the way back
Okay.
and went, "You gotta see this," and then turned, and then they went, "Oh, there's another sun." They all knew it was there. Like, hey, are you telling me for this entire thing, none of them turned that way? And then he was like,
real
"Guys, you
quick,
gotta
so-
see this
okay.
shit."
So, all right. So yeah, the editing was really bad. The VFX were like not super. Like honestly, I can give the VFX like, you know, a pass because it was 2000 and also it wasn't trying to be like crazy great. Like it was just trying to get across what was happening. So like fair. But moving on, I could not stop laughing like when she was getting attacked by the things like in the little cave
In the
thing,
hole?
and it was cutting back and forth between her and Riddick trying to
Riddick going,
escape.
"Ah,
I was like out loud cackling, like laughing so hard. I could
Was
not
he even
keep it
trying to
together.
escape? He was just banging the chains.
It was so fucking funny.
He was
And
in
Anyway.
the garage.
It did the stretch again. It did the thing where it stretched again for
Okay.
no reason.
So also, one of the
Just
things that
cause.
like it was like not great screenwriting, which we can all agree that this was a shit script in the beginning.
Okay.
In your
But
opinion.
One of the
Yeah.
things, other than the
Yeah.
like whole like
Great.
okay, so other than the whole like, you know, foreshadowing, like build up and no payoff thing, the way she finds out about the eclipse doesn't track for me. Because like it's bad screenwriting because like they it just looked like they couldn't come up with a decent like believable way for her to figure out about the like the
Mhm.
eclipse and to like get her there because all of a sudden she's just like an eclipse, oh my god, 22
When?
years,
Tonight.
that sounds significant, and then I'm gonna try the little like, you know, diorama thing, 22,
Yeah.
it's today. Like,
Yeah.
how did she figure all that out?
Because it's one of those movies where it started off with some guys who had like a couple good ideas but have no idea how to execute them, I think. So it's like there's a planet and there's a bunch of scary monsters and there's going to be a big eclipse that they all come out in the dark because they only come out in the dark. Imagine how cool that'd be. And then they're like, "Yeah, how do we do that?" And they're like,
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, we'll just get
Yeah.
No, but okay, the best part of it was just like when another quotable line was when Vin Diesel comes up and he's like, "You're not afraid of the dark, are you?"
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
It's like, wow, how
That's-
on
oh.
theme.
What if he was like, yeah, I am actually. This is actually really hard for me.
Oh, before
Also, they couldn't make him shave more realistically. Like when he's like shaving his head, he's
yeah, why
got,
has he got
the-
like
and he's
gunk
like,
on his head?
like instead of shaving cream, but it was more the fact that like his technique was shit. I would assume that Vin Diesel has shaved his own head before. I don't know why he's
Right.
so bad at acting like he's shaving his head.
He was instructed to do
Because
it.
it was like, shh.
'Cause that's how an
and I'm like,
animal
no one
shaves his
shaves
head.
like
That's
that. That's how an animal shaves his head.
And he's an
Okay.
animal.
Okay, so the shot with the planet coming up, right? Like
Yeah.
coming up to like, and then with the like blaring score, once again, I was dying laughing. Oh my god, I'm not kidding. I was
It's so funny,
I was
isn't it?
dying.
I
It was
love
so funny.
just before that, right? They again for plot or whatever. They they drive somewhere, yeah. But then they get out of the car and the English guy's like, "Oh, I forgot something." So
and they don't
he
ever
runs-
address that.
Yeah, so he runs back. Not in the car, he runs back.
I think the
He's like, I'm just gonna go
problem-
back there.
I think the problem was just that like anytime they needed something to happen for the story, they were like, "Oh, okay, how do we get them there?" And they're like, "Doesn't matter, just get them there."
They could have
With no
had
effort.
they could have had where the vehicle ran out of fuel as it
Yeah.
got to that place, and that would have been it. And then I love the part where it's like, oh no, stay down,
Oh my
because
God, yes!
because they can't fly
Oh.
close to the ground. That's how they don't get you. But then, for some reason, right, she goes down to the ground. They're like, oh, stay down, as if they instinctively know that these creatures can't get real low.
Exactly.
Or some
And then
bullshit.
also like immediately after she dies, he gets
Yeah.
up and it's okay though.
Yeah, and he's like, whoa. Like I said, he's a goddamn Looney Tunes character.
So I have like
in
a
this
question about
movie.
this too. Because like logistically,
Mm.
it doesn't really like make sense why these creatures live on this planet. Because
It
like
doesn't, does it?
I get the whole like they have
Unless-
like a month of eclipse, but they have 22 years of light that they can't survive in. So I like logistically like how do these creatures survive? Like do they like hibernate for 22 years?
Yeah.
Like how
They put
what do
on
they
little
do
sleep masks.
when it's
Well,
you know, and like there's
Sunscreen.
clearly no other life. Do they just eat each other? I don't understand. They don't.
well,
there's no
that's
logical
okay.
explanation for it.
That's okay. Allow me to explain.
Like
okay?
let's get Adam in with the lore.
I was actually thinking though, right? Imagine, okay, I've got two suggestions for this. Okay,
Oh, okay.
one of them is they found that big ass skeleton, so there obviously was some kind of large fauna, right?
Sure.
Another one is all those caves underground. We don't know what other things are in those caves.
Fair.
Okay. And the last one is, what if there are
You
some
said there
form
was
of
two.
oh
Liar.
no. So
Point number one. Point number
there's
B.
point number one, and then point number C is that maybe they're a bioweapon.
Ooh.
Why?
Why?
I don't know, because sci-fi movies
Okay,
love
well,
bioweapons
see,
that
the
are
problem
actually
there
aliens.
is that once again it was not explained. That's the
Mhm.
like other than the like just bad technique in screenwriting. The problem with the like script and the reason that it's a bad premise is that there's no reason for anything. There's no explanation for anything. There's no backstory for anything. There's no history for anything. There's no anything. It's just there and then they tell it and then it's done. And you're like,
and a lot of
what
the
the
time
fuck was all
that
that?
can be cool because
It's
there's
like a
a mystery
mystery.
there.
but like this
But
one was just
not
like
when it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what? I can appreciate sprinkling a bit of confusion into our lives.
you know what? Fair enough because there's not enough confusion and uncertainty. as it
Everything
is.
makes perfect sense right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's what
So
we
another
need.
point, another quote, or another line that I took out was when they're all like flying out of their little cave thingies and like
Yeah.
you know the lights gone and he's looking up
goes,
and he's like beautiful.
I love that bit.
I love that he keeps putting the goggles back on so he can dramatically remove them every time he needs to look at something.
Did you?
With
I
like a
just
really
like
dramatic, honestly, the camera work every time they were looking at Riddick was hilarious.
I
Like,
love that
so
bit.
funny.
Where there's one of the monsters chasing him and it comes towards him and they just blind him and he's like, oh fuck, and he's like, it's the deck. Because he doesn't like light in his eyes.
Okay, so
they flash the flashlight and he's like, ah!
wait, okay, so another line immediately right after that. Well, not really immediately right after
Oh,
that. But
I
like,
swear
like
if
a
you
scene or two
steal
later.
my
It's
favorite
when,
line,
it's
I'll
when,
kill you.
It's when he's like fucking like fighting the alien and he's like,
okay.
did not know he was fucking with.
Did not know who was fucking with.
Yeah. Did not
like,
know who he was fucking
It was
with.
a fucking alien. Like,
You've skipped over
yeah.
the part with my favorite line, so I'm going to
What?
talk about
What
that
is the
now,
line?
okay? My favorite part, which I quote with my friends, right, which is actually good writing. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually fucking brilliant, right? Where they go up to the place and your man's waiting, and then Riddick goes, looks clear, and then he gets up and immediately an alien comes out and he goes,
He's like, I thought you said it was
I
clear.
thought you said it was clear, and he goes, I said it looks clear.
And then he's like,
Yeah.
how's
And
it
he goes,
look now?
Clear.
This is my line, Cass. This is my moment.
He said it looks clear.
Fucking
It looks
stole it from
clear.
me, goddamn bitch. This is my line.
I'm sorry. Continue. Go for it. Start from the beginning.
You ruined it. Okay. I just look right. That's what I do, like with my friends, like when I'm playing online games or something.
Looks
You know,
clear.
looks clear. You said it was clear. I said it looked clear. How's it look now? Looks clear.
That was good. That was honestly a good line. I was like, no,
wasn't
that was
that
funny.
really
That was
good
funny.
writing?
That was
That was fantastic.
quality writing. Saved the whole movie for me.
This is like
did.
Twilight, where she wrote the bit where they go on the picnic first, except someone came up with that line and said, I'm gonna write a movie about aliens.
Okay, wait. So there's this like, there's this one part where he like laughs at someone for saying something.
So where the hell's your god now?
And I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. Give me a second, because it reminds me of a very specific like woman's laugh. Oh, it's from the Addams Family Values, and it's when Fester was like saying something about like, you know, don't you love me, and she's like holding the gun at him.
But, don't you love me? Is that a no?
Oh yeah, it's when
That's
Vin
what that
Diesel's
reminds
at
me
the
of.
at the
Yes.
ship, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she says like some shit, and he's like,
Yeah, it was so good. I was like, okay.
What are you afraid?
Me afraid?
Okay. So we're in the like big climax, right? So is there anything anyone like someone wants to talk about, like with this giant long sequence where they're like trying to get through it all? Like the bounty hunter guy dies. The another one of the Muslims dies. Like all of them die. Like let's keep all the white people alive. You know, don't want to kill any of them.
the entire premise of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Is that there's aliens that only come out in the dark, right?
Nocturnal.
Except for that bit when they go into the car thing and they're all asleep in the dark, but then when the light hits them, they all get up, fly around, and attack another one of the Muslims.
Why?
Right? Why? Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the whole point of the movie, is that they only come out in the dark, and yet while he was in there in the dark, he was fine. And then a light hit them, and then they were like, "Oh shit, time for killing, I guess."
Yeah.
Why?
Adapt,
That makes no
overcome.
sense at all.
On a note,
And
though,
that
like with the whole light
flies
thing,
in the
because
face of the entire point of the
Do you
movie.
know what, guys? I came up with a conclusion. They're like a shitty gremlin.
I thought you were gonna say I came up with the answer. This is like a shitty movie.
Anyway, okay, wait. So like production point, in the whole climax stuff. So like at some points it makes sense, like, you know, that the light is coming from like whatever they're holding, or those like weird tube things that I'll get into the whole like literally this guy has like this whole mental breakdown, runs away and fucks everyone.
Oh my
Like,
God, my eye.
Anyway,
I actually,
but
if you're gonna go into that now, are you?
no, give me a second.
Yeah.
But like throughout the entire thing, right? Like it's super dark. I would assume that there's probably stars in some sense. So like there's probably some light. But there's like a
If it's
full on
an
like
eclipse,
stage floodlight like lighting everything around the ship in the end. And I'm just like, where's that light coming from?
But they didn't have solar power. They had different powers, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
worry
no,
about it,
but
don't
I was
question
just like, I was
Don't worry
thinking that,
about
like,
it.
I
Don't
didn't
worry
even
about
think that that was like a light coming from some sort of like, you know, from that campsite. I was thinking that that was just like the production being like, well, we can't see anything. We need to light it somehow. And like lighting it in a way that they're like, oh, but like it's still dark though.
Yeah.
You know? Like I was just like, that.
But it's
Where's
blue
this
light.
fucking light
It was
coming
blue
from? It
light.
looks like moonlight, but clearly it's not.
So that guy who runs away,
Right.
I have to give. I mean, it's bullshit reason that he ran away. He was like, "Oh no! All of a sudden, I realize I'm in
And
danger."
then he's like, I was supposed to die in France.
Yeah, okay, but
Me.
to give credit, okay, there's a lot of
We.
parts in this movie where, to give them credit, they pulled some cool shit off, okay?
Right. Okay.
And one of them was his death scene, where he drinks the liquor, right, and then like
Oh yeah,
spits
and
it out,
that was
and
cool.
then it lights up all the aliens around him, and then it goes dark.
Never ever saw France.
That's really cool.
No, that was
Do
good.
you know what I
I mean,
mean?
that was kind of it
That
was
is
a movie cliche,
actually
but one of the
really
good
cool.
ones, like for sure.
Yeah.
Where it's like completely dark, you can't see anything, and for whatever reason, some sort of like really quick burst of light,
Yeah.
and there's like everywhere and really close up. Like that was a good one.
They did
Mhm.
something good. I'm so proud of them for doing
They
one.
done two
Right.
things. We said there was two things. There was the funny
Oh yeah,
line,
two, and then this.
and then this.
Okay. So at the end, when he's just like, I'm not going back for them, and she's like, we have to go back
Please,
for them.
please,
She's
please.
so dramatic. Like she's just like
Yeah.
like falling on her knees.
She
and,
thought
like,
she was really gonna get the
And it's
dying,
so-
like, and it's just like, calm down, like, be
It's so
upset with him,
annoying.
but why are you like, I can't
It's so
believe
annoying
that, like,
and weird because she is so determined throughout the whole movie, and then all of a sudden she's like pathetic.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And also in the
And then-
beginning, she was straight up gonna murder them all because she's
Yeah,
just like,
she
nah,
was
fuck
gonna be
these
like,
guys.
fuck them.
And like
Yeah.
now she literally, it's like they're her children basically. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's because there's one child.
Excuse
was
me,
it.
that's called
the
character
one
development.
child.
Except they took the start point and the end point and forgot the middle.
Also,
So
that whole blind spot thing lasted too long. It didn't make any sense, and it was also entirely unnecessary.
And it was it's for nothing. That's like this whole movie. Though.
Zero payoff. Well, because this one tried to make it pay off when he sees the skeleton. He's like, a blind spot.
Blind
and then
spot.
later on, he's like doing the blind spot thing. And I was like, it lasted too long. Was too long. Was
Do you
not
know what that
paced
was
well.
though? Do you know what that was though? Okay.
Bad writing.
That was another scene that was worked backwards, right? Where they were like, wouldn't it be cool if there's this part where he like gets in its blind spot and is like, oh,
So how's he
shit.
gonna
And they'd
find
be
out
like,
the blind
yeah, that
spot?
would be cool. Yeah, how's he gonna find out the blind spot? It's like, I don't know. He comes across the skull and they're like, that seems really cumbersome. Where could we fit that in? Well, just have a scene where he does it. Well, if you have a scene where he does it, doesn't it seem really important? And that like maybe this isn't enough payoff for that? Nah, forget about that. Don't worry about that.
doesn't
We'll just
matter.
do it. Yeah.
I just like it was entirely unnecessarily and it lasted too long and it also didn't make any sense because also like they were like, oh, how do they see in the dark? Like maybe that's the reason they're making the noise is because it's like sonic waves like bats. And I'm like, well then that
Bats?
means that they're blind, so they don't have a blind spot then.
Well, not necessarily.
No.
So bats can see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's how they
Poor
see
eyesight.
in the they have poor eyesight, but so they use the
You're right.
sounds that they make.
You're correct.
To,
Yeah.
and that was
You're
what
totally
they were like.
correct.
the
They should
location.
not have a blind spot.
Like that
They
was what
should
they were
not have
implying.
a
He was
blind
literally in
spot.
front of its mouth. Like
It's almost like this movie
You're dead
doesn't
right.
care.
it doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Unless,
So-
like, I don't know. But actually, another point of credit to the movie is the sound design for the creatures. That was kind of cool,
I liked
right?
it. Yeah, I
And
wasn't mad
when
about
I
the
did,
soundscape.
When I did the a long time ago, I don't know if you noticed, I did a bat survey where I counted
You told me
bats.
about this.
Yeah, and I had
I'm
one of
learning
those.
so many things about you,
Mhm.
Adam.
I had a bat detector, so you hear the bats, and it changes the frequency of their calls so you can hear it. Yeah. One of the most common bats sounds a lot like these guys. Like it does that like.
I mean, that
and
makes
then like
sense.
it goes up at the end, and that's them like turning and stuff.
I
like
would
that.
assume
So,
that that's probably how they came
noticed-
up with the sound mix for it.
Yeah, so I noticed that like at least they weren't just making them
Yeah.
make some kind of sound.
Like
That's
they were
actually,
creating
like, a, very
sound
right?
based off of some sort of reference. Yeah.
So if you think about it, you can't hear bats' noises because they're really high pitched, yeah. But
I
if
can.
if a bat was bigger, the bigger the creature, usually the lower pitched the sounds they
Yeah.
make are. So it actually
It makes a little
it's the
it makes
only
sense. Like
thing
logically
in this
like,
movie that
in-
makes
yeah.
scientific sense.
It's nice to
But
know
it
the
kinda does.
sound production took this
They
movie
did their
serious.
work. They did their work. Yeah, they put in way too much effort for this fucking movie.
I would be so mad if I was like one of the 3 sound production people and I sat down to watch for the masterpiece I had worked on and then it's this.
Okay. Oh, I know, right?
It would
Wouldn't you be?
so
Oh.
sad?
Okay, so she dies. Fry. She
Aw.
dies, right?
Bye, Fry.
I can't like the
She said-
pause, like the
Aw.
moment where they like realize that she's gonna die and like he's like all
Mm.
sad. Vin Diesel cannot act sad. Like he doesn't do
He's
sad.
such a happy
No,
guy.
I didn't pick up that he was sad.
Well,
I
like
was like,
because
oh.
she like she gets like she's like shivved in the back or something. I don't know, by one of the
As you
things.
do.
And he's like holding her, and he's like.
He's
That was a
confused.
visual
He's like,
cue. Cassie slightly turned down her eyebrows.
But yeah.
I think he's just confused. He's like, people die.
He's like, and not by my hand, because I'm a murderer.
I'm the most dangerous animal man alive.
It's Vin Diesel actually. His Riddick has never actually murdered people. He's just been in the vicinity when other people were murdered, and they got blamed for it. Like at the start when.
And
the
then totally was just
Australian
like,
guys,
yeah,
and then
100%.
when her
I
was
killed
like,
him because I'm a badass.
I killed him. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Took
I've
credit.
got
He wanted to
what
be cool.
I like to call an animal brain. So
He's
I got
also
shiny eyes.
You know when you're younger and like you're like how you have blue eyes and you're like my eyes change color in the sunlight.
Okay,
That's
so
his whole
Before
character.
we even get to the end, though, like I want to say that, like I said, I hate this premise. It's stupid, right? Like it could have been good. They really tried to make it bad, though. Like I don't know how you can make it that bad. However, one thing I'm just like upset about because like I did enjoy the like I thought that the idea in like part of the premise where saying like, oh, they're stranded on a planet with dangerous creatures that only come out at night and it's a month-long eclipse, right? They have no like opportunity for sun or whatever.
Mhm.
And the only way of them getting like they have to trust the guy who's dangerous because he has like vision who can see in the dark. Maybe 5% of the movie was him seeing things in the dark and it being useful.
Oh,
No, I'm so glad though.
Like
Other
none of
times
it
he's
was
like,
useless. It was
"I
all
see 'em."
useless. Yeah, right? Like when she was just like when he's like watching the like English guy die and she's just like, do I even want to know? And he's like watching it like useless. Literally
No,
like
I'm kind of
because they
Looks
were
clear.
most of the time they were using their own lights anyway. I'm sorry, Sinead, continue.
I was just gonna say the visual effects wasn't good anyway, so I'm kind of glad they didn't overuse it.
That's
like,
true.
thank
That's
you.
fair.
yeah, it's a good thing a lot of this movie was in the dark.
All right, I have one last point for the very end of the movie. Does anyone have anything else they want to talk about?
No.
No,
I'm sure I do. Let me check my notes.
I think
man,
we
I've
talked
so
enough
many.
about this mad movie.
I said, alright, the looks clear bit. The French guy. Oh yeah, there's a weird part after the last of So when the last one of them died, I feel bad being like when the last Muslim guy died, but it's like none of them had
They didn't
names.
give them names.
They
Well,
give a
technically, the
single
last
one.
Muslim guy didn't die. Like, didn't he end up?
He
He
did.
was just like, I don't even know what to pray for.
Oh, that guy, the main guy.
Yeah.
I meant his like.
Oh, if his little
I don't know
cohort,
what they
his
were.
Sons,
His like
his
followers. Yeah.
nephews, I don't know.
I don't
whatever.
know if they were related to him or if he was just like a religious leader. Do you
I
know
thought
what I
he
mean?
was like a
I never
priest.
understood that
I
dynamic.
have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was. But anyway, right? So you know at the end
Yeah.
when one of them dies
Yeah.
and he's holding them in the arms
Yeah.
and he looks up to the sky and opens his mouth but there's no scream but you can hear the rain and some footsteps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bad sound mix.
What the fuck is up
We
with that?
take it back. The sound mix was
his
bad.
face was
We take it
open
back.
and like it was contorted like he was screaming.
But you
And then
it
it was but
but
I'd
it
be
sounded
okay
like he
if
should
it was
have been.
exactly
Like
because
everything
I
was
would have
muffled,
been
yeah.
if I would have been okay if if everything was muffled. It felt like, you know, one of those edits you see where you hear like just footsteps and like breathing, you know, like one of those
You're
ones.
like, ugh.
Like the
Yeah.
TED
Yeah,
Talk.
because all I could hear was the rain and your one like shuffling about
Yeah.
a bit, and I was like, what?
Well,
The only reason I can think of is if they were like, okay, alright, you should not really scream because it'll fuck up our mics picking up the rain noises
But
or
we'll
whatever.
88
We'll do it
there.
in post,
Yeah, and they
and then he
forgot.
didn't show up for post. Because why would he?
But okay, so the last point that I have is the last quote that I took down. And it's the beautiful last line of, "We can't leave. Pause for dramatic effect. Without saying
Without
good
saying
night."
goodbye.
Like,
We can't leave. say goodnight.
I don't know if that was because like he's like, oh, this is revenge for killing my girlfriend.
I don't think
No,
so.
but they had no chemistry. I
I know, I agree. That was in the beginning. I was afraid that they were gonna end up together because I was like, I swear to God, if he ends up like falling in love with this bitch, I'm gonna be so pissed.
He's a little creeper. He cut her hair and
I know
sniffed
exactly. That was when I was just like, I swear to God, if he ends up falling in love with her, like Beauty and the Beast style bullshit, I'm gonna be super pissed.
Wait,
So
what did you say about Vin Diesel?
no, I'm not saying like he's a beast. I'm
He
talking
is a
about him
beast.
being like a convicted murderer.
I'm such a
who's
beast.
super
Excuse me,
dangerous.
Sinead,
So anyway,
by his own admission,
he
he
is
got
a
animal
beast.
brain.
Okay, so anyway, but like I don't know if that was like because he was trying to get like revenge on the creatures for like killing her, or if like it has something to do
I
with
think
like,
it's the French guy.
or if it was I was upset about that.
It's the
Or no,
same-
it was that rando guy that came up and was like, "Thank God you guys are alive," and then immediately gets obliterated. And then the guy who killed
I
him
thought that was Vin Diesel.
is not affected at all.
The guy from Guardians of the
He's
Galaxy.
not affected at all. He's literally
Yeah,
just
and
like,
then
"Oh shit, I
after-
killed a guy," and then it's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
it. That's
exactly.
it.
He is the biggest murderer in this movie, and he's not the one
More
who's
so
the
than
murderer.
the actual creatures too, but yeah.
Crikey, I thought that was Riddick.
But more so than the actual murderer. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, more so than
Dave
the actual
Bautista.
murderer.
Not Dave
Right.
Bautista.
Well,
Not Dave
so
Bautista.
does anyone have any other points? Because that's all I got.
No.
No.
All right. Well, you know what? It has been really fun being back. It's been a while since we've recorded, and it's been nice to, get back on the grind. So
Back on
Yeah.
the only good vibes here. Back
So
on
thanks.
the
Well,
grind.
so this was our 1 year anniversary special. So for anyone who has kept up with us this long, thank you. for
God bless.
listening to
All
of our
one of
episodes.
you.
Right. Honestly, thanks, Mom. That's it.
I thought you were gonna be like, for those of us who've kept up with us this year, why?
It's been a fun time so far. I'd say definitely Twilight was our better moment, was our peak.
we peaked
I
at
think-
Twilight.
We peaked
Didn't
at
feel
Twilight.
like a peak for me, bro.
That's upsetting, like peaking at Twilight. Wow. All right. But yeah. So
I know, we're like the real life, what's his name, Jason?
Born.
Jason
No,
Bourne.
what's the guy's name? We're like Taylor Lautner.
Jason.
Peaked in Twilight.
And then went down from there. Yeah.
Who's
Because he
Jason?
was a pedo.
What? Oh, in the movies, yeah. I was like,
I'm
Taylor
so
Lautner?
confused.
Me too.
We always end up talking about a pedophile. Okay. So
Fitting for the end. In the
Ugh.
movie, we should clarify the character. Jacob, that's his goddamn name.
Jason.
All right. So,
You know
Jason.
Jason. Jason from fucking...
Derulo.
Jason from Mid-Afternoon. You know what I mean?
Okay. So we've had a lot of fun. We have all 2 of our seasons that are still on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You're also, I don't know if all of them will ever be up on YouTube, but there's a good chunk of them if you ever want to watch them.
Some of them
Don't be
went missing.
don't be picky. Don't be picky.
I'm trying, yeah. Like, I only got so much editing time, y'all. But yeah, so it has been a good time. Anyone have anything to say for
we
for the
love
1 year?
you.
Thanks.
Cassie's mom.
Love
Yeah,
you.
if you're a fan and you see me in the street, don't approach me.
All right. Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't see you back soon.
Who's to say?
Who's to
Yeah.
say? Maybe I'll have a different hair color.
We're living-
Probably not.
We're living in
To
the
continue-
present, not the future
my-
right now.
To continue my increasingly violent campaign against the government, I need to stop posting my image
So
online
anyway,
and then stop
um,
interacting with people, of course, because
you
then
know-
that lets them know
So,
where I am.
just in case we don't ever come back, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching if you watched.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming along on these journeys with us. We've had a lot of fun, and we hope you have too.
Mm-hmm. Be
Love
your best
you.
version of Vin Diesel. Okay?
Freeze frame. Wait, ready?
Okay,
one,
two.
1, 2, 3. Yeah!
For more content, you can find us on social media at The Movie Rats and online at themovierats.com.
The Movie Rats is produced by Dirty Bird Productions, as well as Adam Carr, Sinead Barrell, Jess Boylan, and Cassie Egger. Art by Kate Doyle, and music by Sinead Barrell.
Thank you for listening.